Hi and welcome to my second tutorial on how to replace the needle. And in this case we have the voltmeter needle. Already took the liberty of taking it off. That can be quite fiddly because there's like a 1 mil shaft in there. It's quite easily bent, so you should have some extraction tool where you can lift it up vertically without bending it. So that's quite important. And also I have a special jig device where I can put the needle in. So it stays put. And these needles become very brittle over time. That's because of the UV light doing its job on getting the elasticity out of the material. It's the plasticizers that evaporate and then it leaves the material brittle. So we need to replace this. And as you can see, this one is very brittle already and it's already getting curved. As you can see, it's curved up, and that's because of the tension inside of the material has developed in such a way that it will easily break. You will see if I just bend it just a little, there you go, it's already gone. So yeah, it makes sense to replace these in time. When you're doing a full refurbishment of your bike, then it's good to take this one as well. So now there are a couple of ways to tackle this. I find that using a hobby knife is the best way to do this. You can also use some pliers, some flat cutting pliers to get the top layer off, but you have to get into this crevice that's right here to get the job done properly. So let's go ahead. You have these three tools you need to work on these voltmeters, and that's the Loctite 401. I'm not sponsored by Loctite, by the way, but I find they have good products, so I think they need some credit. Loctite 401, that's used to glue the voltmeter needle in place, and for this you will also need either the separate voltmeter needle, or if you're doing the complete set, CBX1000 needle set. I have this one in my online store. It consists of the complete set of needles, and they're all in vibrant orange to match my perfect high quality faces for these. I've matched the color of these faces to a Sandcast model. That's one of the first CBX1000s to have ever seen the road. And this one is actually out of a crate motorcycle, so it never saw any daylight, and I matched my colors perfectly to that color. So there you go. So Loctite 401, also a utility knife set, it come in handy for cutting on this, and a steady hand, and also, yeah, what I already mentioned, a jig where you can put the needle in and it doesn't go away, and also a JIS screwdriver. This one is a PH1 times 75. You will need that to loosen the bolts on the voltmeter face. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get this thing off. As I already mentioned, you can also use some pliers. I find that these flat nose pliers are very useful for cutting these excess pieces off, like from the end. Just be careful not to cut into the black boss, because you're going to need that one. As you can see, it's snipping off quite easily. That's because of the brittleness of the material. And you can also try and cut some of the top layer off. All right, then let's start with the hobby knife. I prefer taking this one because this one has a straight edge. So you have to be really careful with this because they are very razor sharp. And now what you have to do is you cut along the needle in the center and try to wiggle off as much material as you can. This is quite tedious. Just take it one step at a time. You can see it's quite brittle. And then the top layer is off. you get into the material that's still a little bit flexible. I'm going to try to pry it off. Yeah, I think this is it. As you can see, there's like a recess in there. It's like a groove. And now we're going to take the needle out of the package. There's also this QR code on there that you, if you use your phone, you can get directly to my YouTube channel. So now for this, we're going to take the voltmeter needle. And there's this thicker part at the end. And this one needs to be close up to the edge. And how can you tell where the edge is and where it needs to be? Well, it's actually this side where the plastic was molten over. So it needs to be this way, this orientation. I'm going to press it down. And now to get the glue at the right place, we're going to use the one zip bag that I just took. We're going to put a drop of this super glue on this package. And I'm going to get a toothpick so I can easily smear just a bit down the groove so it doesn't come all the way out, but it has enough adherence for this needle to get into the groove. As you can see, there's also like this boss extruded. That's for this groove. It should fit in there perfectly. So you have to hold it like this for just a second. That should be all set. And you can assemble it. All right, I'm going to get a toothpick. I'll be right back. All right, I've got myself a toothpick. And now I'm going to apply a drop of super glue on this zip bag. So I'm easy. It will be easy to get some super glue on this toothpick. Just put some on the edge, not too much, and then go straight down the middle. It's okay if it's just touching a little bit on the edge, it's no problem. You won't see it. All right, now next up, this is a one-way process. You can fuck up right now. Just make sure you have a firm grip and just slide it in. All right, there we go. And hold it in place. Perfect. This is all you need to do. Now next up, we're going to put this one aside so it can cure. Now we have to take off this seal. This seal has been on there compressed for over like 50 years. So it needs to be replaced. Now I have a perfect new seal for this. As you can see, it's a perfect match. It's been made exactly the same, also the same thickness, but new fresh rubber. You can put it on. Of course, first we have to take off this old face. You can see this is the original color. It's a vibrant orange. Now first we have to apply some Loctite 243. That's the lock thread. I will get it. and put it on the internal thread. Just a little bit is enough. Less than a drop is more than sufficient to keep these nuts, these bolts in place. That's all it needs. If you want, you can still use this toothpick to get it inside of the holes. That way it will be secure. And now next up, we're going to place this new face. It's a perfect replacement of the original. As I already mentioned, it's the original color that came when it came out of the factory. Also very good to see at night, because these have good transparency. The old ones not so good, because the top layer is getting brittle as well, and that makes it diffuse, and diffuse is not good for transparency. All right, well, this is all it needs. Just tighten them up. Now if you want, you can also straighten those screws. Don't be too hard on these, because the underlying mechanisms are quite delicate. You might end up breaking something. Now we put the new seal on, and now we have to replace this. I don't know if you see this, but there's like this scratch. I'm going to replace this one with a perfect new one. I'll show this in another video. But this is how far we are now. Now we can take off this needle. It's now already set. It's perfect. And we can start by applying it to the needle shaft. And best way is to start on the left side, or the right side, all the way from the 16 and turn down to just below the 8. Now if you want to check whether it's good, you can go ahead and apply 12 volts to the post. There are 2 posts below. The one on the right is the plus and the one on the left is the minus. So if you put 12 volts on there, it should come straight up. But there's like a small discrepancy in this reading. Whenever you have the original volt gauge, it won't show the exact voltage. And now you can mediate between what you want. If I personally want to know whether my alternator is charging correctly. So it should be up in the 13s, like 13.9 or 13.7 when it's charging. So I want to have this reading perfect, spot on. So if there's something wrong in the charging circuit, I will be notified immediately. That's why I put my needle a tad above the original setting, and that will make it perfect when it's charging. So let's hook up a lap feed, so we can see what's going on. Alright, now for the next step, I have a variable lap DC power supply where I can regulate the voltage. And I have this multimeter just to check whether the voltage is correct. Now I'm going to turn it up a little. As you can see, I have the minus on the left and the plus on the right. I'll start applying some volt to it. As you can see, it's already lifting the needle. This is the inaccuracy that these gauges have. Now if we go all the way up to 12 volts, this is now in excess of 12 volts, and you can see the needle is still too low. Now if I want to have it spot on 12 volt, then I can regulate it so it comes up to 12 volt. But I don't want that. I want it to have the right calibration on the charging. So I start putting it up to 13.9 volts. It takes a steady hand. All right, that's a tad too much. All right, this would be my set point, and I would want it just below the 14. Now what you can do is you can turn the needle up, and just a little bit, you feel the resistance, you just pull it a little through that. So this is the end post. As you see, it's now already nearing the 14. If I want it just a hair more, then I can give it a little bit more. I think this is perfect. So if we go down to 12 volts, it's a little bit off.
Well, that concludes my tutorial on how to replace the voltmeter needle. I hope you found it useful. Don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel. And if you have any questions or need some further assistance, don't hesitate to contact me through my website. Thanks for watching.